Hey everyone, I'm David.
And I'm Ro.
And this is Sweetie. And we want to let you guys in on some of the pitfalls, the mistakes that new full-time RVers can make when they first hit the road. Because there's a few of them, and it can be a pretty big deal. And Ro and I have been full-time RVers for over 4 years now, and so we've got a pretty good idea about what those mistakes can be. Gosh, Sweetie, I'm trying to talk here.
Doesn't matter. Pay attention.
I know. She's like, no, pay attention to me.
You need attention.
Well, anyway, let's get into it.
A major thing that you need to make sure that you have before you ever hit the road is a contingency plan. In case either you don't like full-time RVing or it just doesn't work out for whatever reason, you need to have a backup plan for yourself, for your spouse, for your kids, for your pets, all of that. You need to have a backup plan, and I don't know what that would look like for everyone, but for David and I, our backup plan was that his parents lived really close to where we did, only about a 20-minute drive from our house that we sold when we hit the road. And they told us that if we didn't like traveling full-time, then we could come and park our trailer and our truck on their property. They had a spare room that we can stay in if we wanted to, if we didn't want to stay in the trailer for whatever reason. And we could stay there until we found new property of our own. And that has always been our backup plan if, we ever hated this. And, if for some reason we had a really hard time finding property when we got there, then the backup to our backup plan was to get an apartment. Either temporarily or for a couple of years, whatever was going to work out for us. But knowing that we had that backup plan made it a lot easier to be willing to hit the road. And it made it a lot easier to inevitably not be so stressed out about being on the road, knowing we don't have a house somewhere. And so knowing that we always had an option to just stop at any time was really, really good for us.
The next major mistake that new full-time RVers can make is not having a solid way, a solid plan to earn a living while on the road. It's really not a good idea to just take a cavalier position with your finances and just hit the road not really knowing how you're going to earn a living ahead of time. Now, for Ro and I, our plan when we first hit the road was to just sort of live off the savings that we had built up mainly from the sale of our house. And then once those started to dwindle, we would return to our hometown of Fort Wayne, Indiana, and get some temporary positions in the fields that we used to work in, build up a savings again, and then hit the road. And we felt that that was a really good plan because the positions that we used to work were very, it's very easy to find temporary work. Like, for instance, I'm a mechanical engineer by trade, and back in Fort Wayne, there is a massive demand for engineers because there's a lot of manufacturing in the area. And so finding temporary positions would be pretty easy for me in my field. But then we also thought about doing work camping positions, and we had found some websites that, were solely focused on having job listings for work camping positions. So we thought maybe we would subsidize our income with that as well. And thankfully, though, this YouTube channel that we've poured tons of time and energy into ended up working out for us. But another thing you guys could do is remote work. Especially with the pandemic, just jobs have gone remote like crazy. And so if you feel comfortable with, always being able to have internet on the road, which if you're curious how we do it, you can check a video out right up there at that link on how we get internet on the road. And yeah, remote positions there's just so many more of those now than there used to be. So that's a definite, thing you could do. But yeah, I highly, highly stress you gotta have a solid way, a concrete way to make money and earn a living while on the road. Now, before we get to the rest, I know that something that's really hard for a lot of new full-time RVers is finding campsites. And so I want to give you guys an excellent campground finding resource. The DYRT is the best campsite finding website and smartphone app we've ever used. However you camp, in a tent, trailer,
RV or cabin, the DYRT makes finding accommodations easy. And with over 1 million listings, you're sure to find the perfect campsite. The DYRT website and app are free to use. However, they have an extremely affordable Pro membership available for only $3 per month. Pro has many indispensable features for travelers like us, such as offline access and downloadable maps so you can search for campsites anywhere, map overlays for BLM land, national forests, and national parks so there's no questioning what land you're on, and a trip planner so you can see all the campgrounds and fuel stops along your route. A Pro membership will also get you up to 40% off at hundreds of campgrounds across the country and up to 30% off camping gear made by many major brands. And if you go through the link in the video description below and use promo code FATE, you'll receive a free 90-day membership to the DYRT Pro. Unlock better camping with exclusive features and savings with the DYRT Pro.
Another mistake new full-time RVers might make is they might not have a good cash cushion. And what we mean by that is some form of savings that will help protect you from some form of a disaster of some sort, whether it is minor, like a minor repair or something minor going wrong with your RV or your truck or your tow vehicle, or if it's something along the lines of all of a sudden you have to like fly home unexpectedly and you didn't know that and you don't have money for that right now because you don't have a cash cushion. And your cash cushion will obviously be completely dependent on you and your circumstances. You know, if you have a big motorhome with a really nice tow vehicle, you might need or want a larger cash cushion than someone that is full-timing in like a Jeep or a pickup truck with a little tiny travel trailer behind them or a teardrop trailer. You know, your cash cushions probably aren't going to be the same. And that's something that you really need to keep in mind. We can see this being a really big problem for some new full-time RVers because, and we know this because we did this too, you are just so excited to hit the road, to sell everything and start your adventures. But if you don't have that cash cushion, you could run into some very major problems. We had some really big repairs, possible repairs. Luckily, we were able to do them ourselves. Within the first 6 months that we were on the road, our refrigerator stopped working and the tongue jack of our trailer broke. Luckily, our truck was still under it and it just fell right onto the truck. Now, if we didn't have a cash cushion when we hit the road, those could have been super major disasters. You know, we might have needed the trailer to be towed somewhere. What if our truck wasn't under the trailer when that tongue jack broke? That could have totaled part of our trailer for all we know. Who knows? And so having that cash cushion is just very good for having peace of mind on the road.
Health insurance on the road is another major thing that actually a lot of people worry about, of course, and it's something that we actually made the mistake of not really fully understanding when we first hit the road. You know, we thought that it wouldn't be difficult for us to find nationwide coverage, and turns out it's extremely difficult to find nationwide coverage. I mean, I contacted a whole number of the major healthcare providers, and none of them offered a nationwide package. Like, now, if you have an emergency, then you would be able to have coverage. Like, you know, if you had a heart attack and had to go to the hospital or broke your leg or something. But as far as like just being able to get prescriptions or just go to the hospital for a non-emergency reason, then not covered. And that was, we got sort of blindsided by that when we first hit the road. Well, I will say that when we first hit the road, what we did is we just didn't have health insurance because it was one of the ways that we were going to save money, you know, because we're young and healthy, and yeah, health insurance is just insanely expensive. And then when we decided, okay, let's get some health insurance, couldn't do it. And like, we're never in our hometown. We're there very infrequently. So what we do now is we go home around Christmas, and then at the first of the year, you know, when there is what do they call it? Open enrollment. We get health insurance for the month of January, and we're sure to like line up all of our doctor's appointments, everything that we want to do in January when we have insurance. get all those appointments done, get all those tests done or whatever, and then we just cancel our coverage after that. And then we do what's called self-insuring for the rest of the year. We just have enough money in savings to cover us should we need to go to the hospital for something, which has happened. I actually fell, you guys might remember, and I separated my shoulder. I don't even remember which shoulder it was. It was this one. I separated my shoulder and I had to go and get some x-rays done and stuff. And that cost a pretty decent amount of money, but we had our savings to back us up. So just be sure that before you hit the road, you know exactly what you're going to do for health insurance and that you are covered and, you feel comfortable with, what could happen, if something happened to you on the road.
So, travel burnout. It's a real thing, and we have experienced it on the road, and which is why I want to share it with you guys. When we first hit the road, we were really, really ambitious, and we were going to, 3 to 5 attractions every single week. We were traveling every 3 to 7 days. We weren't staying the whole 14 days that we were allowed to stay in an area. And at about our 6 to 8 month mark, somewhere around there, we realized, finally, wait a second, I think we're pushing ourselves a little too hard, and I'm really tired all the time. And, and I mean tired from, emotionally tired from just always having something to do, always excited about something, and never having, just a day to relax. Literal being on the road burnout because we were traveling so often. It just felt like we were always in the truck and we wanted to spend some more time in the trailer just relaxing in our campsite. And so we did make a major shift, and it's totally fine to have really ambitious goals early on, that's fine, but just remember and don't beat yourself up if you happen to feel travel burnout later on. And we did have that issue, and we have been rectifying it over the 4 years. We're constantly changing how fast we travel, how slow we travel, how often we go do things, based on our energy level at that time. And that's perfectly acceptable, that's totally fine. Just remember, don't push yourself too hard, but also don't beat yourself up when you actually do end up reaching travel burnout, if it ever happens. Hopefully not, though, because it kind of sucks.
Another mistake that's easy for new full-time RVers to make is to buy way too much gear, way too much RVing equipment, waste a bunch of money and take up all of the storage space in your truck, your travel trailer, fifth wheel, and motorhome. These things only have so much space, and it's just way too easy to just stuff an RV to the rafters with needless items. And I don't know about you guys, but I like saving money, and so my advice to you is only buy the necessities, the things that you absolutely need, like a dump hose, blocks, leveling blocks, also chalks, the things that you have to have, and then some of the stuff that you think you might want, save that for later. And as you're traveling, then you'll find out for sure, oh yes, okay, I definitely want this thing, so I'm gonna buy it because we're gonna use the heck out of it. We've gotten in these situations where we've wanted this and then buy it. So yeah, that's what we do. That's what we've always done. We're really happy with that. And yeah, so save your money, just buy the necessities, hit the road, get all the rest of that crap later.
Another mistake that you might make before you hit the road is getting rid of all of your hobbies. Now, we understand, we truly do, that some hobbies are just too big to take on the road. If you're really into woodworking, you might not really have a place to do woodworking on the road. But for me, I like doing crafting projects, but I had a lot of crafting stuff. However, I knew that I needed to bring some stuff with us on the road because we know that it's gonna rain some days, and on those rainy days, I don't like being outside, so I knew I was gonna have to be inside. And you may notice this video was shot entirely indoors, and it's because it's raining outside, and it's been raining for 3 days. So, we've been kind of stuck inside, and not having hobbies, whether it's video gaming, which for us is really easy to take on the road because we were already going to bring our laptops with us. And then I also have a crafting box with some of my cross-stitching stuff to make my dream catchers, and some yarn and stuff to make some other things. And if I didn't bring Hobbies with me on the road, I feel like I would probably have gone crazy. Now, you don't need to bring big hobbies on the road though. You can bring things as simple as like a Kindle, like an e-reader. And that way it gives you something to do while you are stuck inside. And we get stuck inside a lot, you guys. We don't show that all the time because it's pretty boring, you know, we don't have a lot to do in here. But when we do get stuck inside, if we didn't have our hobbies, it'd be really, really boring and lonely. We do have all of our pets. That helps a lot, but only to an extent. So be sure to bring something to do on the road for those really nasty days.
So those have been some mistakes that new full-time RVers can make before they hit the road. I hope watching this video is really helpful to you guys out there who are looking to become full-time RVers. You know, you can take these tips and plan even better for when you eventually hit the road. Now, Ro over here has a Twitch channel, and the link to her Twitch channel is right here. There you go. She's not streaming the day that this video goes out, but she's definitely streaming this weekend. So go ahead and head over to her Twitch channel, give her a follow, and come hang out with her live this weekend. You know, she streams like 3 to 4 times a week, and Sweetie's getting antsy. She knows what's coming up. she knows the BYE is coming up.
She knows it. She is preparing herself.
She already knows, you guys. We've like trained her at this point. But anyway, yeah, here's the link to Ro's Twitch channel. Go give her a follow so that, you know, when she goes live, you can hang out with her live, ask her all the RVing questions you guys want. I'm sure you've got more. But that's all for sweet. That is you. Okay, we gotta go.
Okay, we're gonna go.
Guys. Sweetie, say bye. There we go.
Oh my gosh, what a dork.